You know, over the past few months, I've produced several Baldur's Gate 3 videos, which means I've gotten a lot of comments on the game, mostly positive, but there have been a handful of negative comments, dare I say, bad takes, to the point where I was laughing so hard at one of them. I said, you know what? This is one of the worst takes on Baldur's Gate 3. This is worth a video in itself. And then I said, you know what? Why not highlight some of the worst takes on Baldur's Gate 3 in the comment section? So without further ado, we're gonna dive into the comment section and find some of the worst takes on Baldur's Gate 3. All right, so the other day I took to my YouTube community tab and I asked you guys, what are some things that you think Baldur's Gate 3 could improve on? And I got some pretty good answers, but I also got some pretty bad ones. One of the worst ones came from this guy. Admiral Bishop says the way that Baldur's Gate 3 could improve is he wished there was no turn-based gameplay in general. That's what he would change about the game. Listen, the question was, what would you do to improve the game? Not what video game would you make if you had a chance. You basically saying the game's trash, I would never play it simply because it's a turn-based game. And it's okay not to like turn-based gameplay, but I asked you how'd you would improve the game and you basically said, I would take the core of the game and just get rid of it. You failed the test. Let's stick to answering things that are involving the actual gameplay because this was a horrible take. Just say you don't like turn-based gameplay. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even left a comment. We get it, you don't like it. You shouldn't even have left a comment because you're not saying anything productive. And if you scroll a little bit further down on the same post, you will find our next horrible take on Baldur's Gate 3, who comes from Cool Kai, and he goes on to say, the way he would improve BG3 is actually have a good story for starters because Spider-Man 2 was better. Now, A, you're either a troll, or B, you're completely delusional and you didn't play this game. And I think it might be a little bit of both because to say that Baldur's Gate 3 has a bad story is a crazy statement, especially in comparison to Spider-Man 2, which is such a linear story compared to Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 has tons of infinite different branching storylines. It's a choose your own adventure. There's drama, there's laughter, there's action. And you're talking about Spider-Man 2 story is better. You're allowed to have your opinion, but I'm not gonna lie. I believe if you said you enjoyed the gameplay more, but the story, there's no way you play Baldur's Gate 3. You're just yapping. Our next horrible take comes from a pinned comment. Like this one was so bad. I had to pin this to the top of this video. I had to give him the walk of shame. It comes from Rishi Rish and he says, 20 million copies sold on Steam low-key is ass compared with console gamers. That means only roughly 25% of gaming even decided to touch that shit, and even lower if you add mobile gamers. First of all, what the fuck does mobile gaming have to do with anything? BG3 doesn't run on mobile. Spider-Man 2 doesn't run on mobile. Alan Wake, what are you talking about? Has Clash of Clans has nothing to do with this argument. Leave Raid Shadow Legends, the mobile game with console level graphics out of the conversation. No, Windows, I don't want to uninstall. I want to install this damn update. Leave me alone, I'm recording. Anyways, saying 20 million sold is ass is a crazy statement. First of all, have you ever sold, this has got to be a troll. Have you ever sold 20 million of anything? I highly doubt it. You guys always complain games are too expensive, $60, $70, right? Let's do $70 times 20 million. Put it in a calculator. It's probably gonna break it. More importantly, I don't know if you guys seen the news, just to kind of put things in perspective. The best-selling game of 2023 was Hogwarts Legacy. How many copies did that sell? 22 million globally. Baldur's Gate 3 has been reported to sell 20 million. Really, it's probably sold more by then. It's kind of hard to track because a lot of it's on Steam and digital numbers are kind of hard to track. But right now it's being reported. They gave it to Hogwarts Legacy. It's the best-selling game of 2023, which, by the way, shout out to them. You guys really did a good job with that boycott. Imagine if you guys didn't boycott it. Maybe it would have sold 50 million. Anyways, I'm joking. Anyways, yeah, this sold 22 million, and then Baldur's Gate 3 is reported to have sold 20 million. So what? That's second place by default. Those are not exact numbers, but it puts you in a ballpark. This is a wild statement. So is Hogwarts Legacy the best selling game of all of 23? I was about to say all time. I'm tired, y'all. Of all of 2023, was that a failure too? Even though it came in first place with Baldur's Gate right behind it, I was just like, wow, you have to be just. But I was like, nah. Some people really are that dumb. Some people really are that dumb. I always say, man, the internet gave a voice to the village idiot. Man, the village idiot used to be contained to your village. But now the village has spread to the internet. And like your guys' favorite game, Spider-Man 2, that village idiot mindset is like the symbiote. It's like Venom. It's spreading all throughout, not just New York, but the world. Protect yourself from stupid. Complacency Media says that the truth is the gameplay itself is just not fun. That's what's keeping most people away, including myself. What's fun is subjective. I, as well as the 20 million plus people who bought the game, find BG3. Well, I don't want to say everybody who bought it found it fun, but most people did. That's why it won Game of the Year. To say that it's not fun, that's why most people aren't playing it, that's not true. I'd argue most people probably don't play this game because it's actually intimidating. There's a lot to learn, and like, I'll give that. Like, the tutorials are not the best in the game. It even, some of the stuff confused me in the beginning. So it's like, you really got to thug it out, or you got to have somebody there to hold your hand. I chose to thug it out because you know my body, but you get the point. To say that that's the reason most people are not playing, it says that you're not looking outside of your bubble, because in fact, most people did play it, and that's why it won Game of the Year. Just say, it's not for me. That's all you got to say. We got to work on this internet. Say, it's not for me, and keep it moving. And our next bad take comes from Sir is Good, and he says, if everyone hates it, then why did it win at the Game Awards and it won't be ever coming to Game Pass? And 2 people like this comment, by the way. So for all 3 of you dumbasses, first of all, just to give context, this is a comment that was left on my video titled Everyone Hates Baldur's Gate 3. And if you're unfamiliar, I do this series on my channel called Bad Reviews for Good Games, where I poke fun at dumb reviews left on the internet for games that most people like. And all you had to do was watch the video for the first 10 seconds, and I explained why the title is that way, and you wouldn't have got upset. So all this comment does, and why it's a bad take, is because it's not even on the game necessarily, it's on the video. You didn't watch the video. I don't understand why people do this stuff on the internet. Why click on something if you have no intention of at least trying to check it out before you give an opinion? Now you left an opinion and you look stupid as hell, and you ended up in my video. I get it. The title was clickbaity, but I said it. It was, all right, listen, man. I think Gen A is after Gen Z coming up. Y'all brains is fraud. TikTok got the game fucked up. Also, what does Game Pass have to do with anything? Let's add, not only did you not pay attention, this actually is a horrible take. Why is a game never coming to Game Pass make it bad? What the fuck are you talking about? The next bad take on BG3 comes from Snowman1886, which, by the way, Young Jeezy, is this your sock account? Let me know. Snowman, hey. Anyways, he goes on to say, my dad's a casual. He bought this game based on the hype and instantly regretted it. I tried to tell him. Now, this is a bad take, not because you guys didn't enjoy the game. You guys are allowed to dislike the game. This is a bad take because you're some kid on the internet and you threw your dad under the bus, not once, but twice. Do you know how lucky you are to have a strong relationship with your father? A lot of people in this comment section would love to know their father, but they didn't have one. He went out to get some milk and he never came back. So instead you were raised like Piccolo, just like Gohan. You called your dad a casual. You threw him under the bus. Then you said he only bought it because of the hype. You basically called him stupid. Hey, Dad, if you see this, beat his ass. I'm just playing. Our next bad take comes from TD Freeman 4092, and he goes on to say, when are we getting that playthrough, TBH? He wants to know when I'm gonna stream Baldur's Gate 3, and I hate to break it to you, bro. I've been streaming Baldur's Gate 3 over at twitch.tv/TheBlackHokage for the past month and a half. It's all I've been playing up until Prince of Persia recently came out, and then at the time of this recording, Power World actually comes out tomorrow. Actually today, because it's kind of late. Tomorrow is today. You feel me? Anyways, yeah, I've been streaming it over at twitch.tv/TheBlackHokage. So for those of you unaware, I stream Monday to Friday. There will be a link in the description box below to my Twitch channel. It's one of the funniest playthroughs on the internet. Come on through. This is a bad take because you didn't know. Turn the noties on, my brother. I forgive you. Just turn the noties on. Twitch.tv/BlackHokage, yeah. And our next bad take, although it's not really a bad take, it's more of a question that I found in one of my Baldur's Gate 3 videos. It comes from E1 Love, and he says, can I have an opinion on a game if I watched a 20-hour walkthrough, but I didn't play it myself? So I presume he either watched somebody's BG3 walkthrough on YouTube or Twitch, was about 20 hours in, and he tried to form his own opinion, but he's questioning whether or not he can have his opinion. To answer your question, in my opinion, no, your opinion on the game still doesn't matter. And let me tell you why. Video games are not movies. Video games are not movies. Video games are not movies. Video games are transformative work. No two experiences are alike. I think it's one of the reasons why I enjoy meeting Mass Effect fans so much. You meet a Mass Effect fan and their playthrough will be completely different from yours, especially when talking about that suicide mission. And the same thing is with Baldur's Gate 3. So you didn't really get to experience how the game actually felt. You didn't get to experience how the story beats made you feel. So in turn, it's not fair for you to judge it the same way. You can judge whether or not you're interested in it, but I don't think you can give like a full opinion on it because you haven't had that full experience. To be a little bit extreme and immature also, it's like you talking to one of your homeboys and your homeboy comes over and he's like, yo, you know that John I've been trying to talk to on IG for a while? He'd be like, Nicole? Yeah, Nicole. He'd be like, what about her? I finally cracked that joint. You finally... I did, bro. And then he starts breaking it down to you, which is weird, by the way. If you do that with your homeboys, that's kind of weird. But he starts breaking it down in detail with you. Like, yeah, I had that bitch in a pretzel. Fucking, she gave me the Gok 9000. Fucking, I was on top of a ceiling fan, spinning in circles, and then I dropped down and fucking pile drive my dick into that bitch, bro. He can explain that to you, but you still didn't understand. You can't literally feel what he felt. You didn't get to feel the pussy yourself. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing, bruh. So like, but I'm just being real. I'm just being real. So like, I think you should try Baldur's Gate 3 before you go around giving definitive opinions on the game, because you didn't get to feel how the work made you feel. And I don't think that's fair to share a definitive opinion on it. So our next horrible take comes from Solus422, and he says, I never heard of Baldur's Gate 3. I don't be on TikTok or Instagram like that, but I watch YouTube gamers and none of them have mentioned this shit. And then he put a bunch of crying emojis like he made some valid point. I mean, as you can see, he has a Chirac Savage type of profile picture, so we know what kind of individual we're working with here. But I'll try to go easy on you here. Listen, guy, what your favorite YouTubers play is not an indication of the general health of the video game industry. The video game industry is the biggest form of media in the world. It surpassed movies like a decade ago. Just because you play Fortnite or like Call of Duty doesn't mean you have a blind spot. This is one of the biggest selling games of 2023. And just because whatever YouTuber you watch doesn't play it, doesn't mean it's not relevant. And the same thing applies to Twitch. This is one of the common misconceptions. For those of you unaware, do you know one of the biggest mobile games in the world right now is PUBG Mobile? It's big in emerging markets. It may not be big in North America, but it is big in emerging markets. I think it's big in South America. I believe it's big in China. There's a lot of people in all these different countries and continents, and you might not be aware of these markets, but just because your favorite YouTuber is not playing that game does not mean it's dead, it's irrelevant, it's not making any money. It means you have a blind spot. This is crazy that we've reached a point where just because some weird ass screaming YouTuber isn't playing the fucking game. And you know the crazy part is also your favorite YouTubers, they're not playing the game probably too because it requires their brain. They can't sit there and scream. I hate to break it to you, man. It's a game that's kind of a little bit more slow paced. It's a game of chess. You gotta sit there and think about your next move. You're not sitting there at the computer. Welcome, guys. Like, you know, if you like that shit, you know, more power to you. But the reality is you can't really do that while you play. You're gonna have moments where you laugh playing Baldur's Gate 3 because there's some legitimately funny moments in this game. But it's not really a YouTuber game. And just because YouTubers and Twitch streamers are not playing it does not mean it's not selling well, and does not mean it's irrelevant. It means you're ignorant. Now, this next comment is not necessarily a bad take, but it's a reoccurring comment that I feel the need to address and defend myself. It comes from Christian, and he said, did he just kill Scratch? What the fuck? This was all over my Baldur's Gate 3 first impressions video. Matter of fact, it's right there. Jessica said, you killed Scratch? Look, and then if we go in the comment section and search seeing Scratch get hostile, you fucked up. It's 13 different comments. And by the way, everybody, you killed Scratch, you what the fuck? And like the funny part is I haven't even scrolled all the way down to all the comments, bro. A lot of people were upset that I killed the dog, so allow me to defend myself. I killed Scratch. because he got hostile. He had a gun and it made me nervous, okay? I just wanted to see his license. I just wanted to get a feel for who he was. I thought it was some random wolf in the middle of the forest. I thought I saw a weapon, so I shot first. That's what it is. Get off my dick. And there you have it. There are some of the worst takes on Baldur's Gate 3. Hopefully I can make you laugh. If I did, hit the like button, then hit the card on the screen because that will take you to my take on the new Prince of Persia video game from Ubisoft. I know it's fun to give Ubisoft an L, and a lot of times they deserve it, but I believe in giving flowers when they're due. Ladies and gentlemen, Ubisoft finally got one. They finally made a good game in a long time, and all you got to do is click the card right here to find out why. And also, I need some watch time, so click the fucking card, please.